Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Life with Patty. It is Wednesday evening, 8:30 at night. This has been the longest week in history. Can't believe it's only Wednesday. I don't know why, but this week has just been so slow. But what hasn't been slow is I have been getting in a lot of reading. So I have another book review for you. Whoop, whoop, whoop. This book is called The Road to Bittersweet by Donna Everhart. Okay, guys, 2 books in a row are both 5 stars. Yep, you heard it, 5 stars. Now, it is another one that is super sad, and it is about the Depression in North Carolina in the 30s. And, you know, back in the 30s, we didn't have a lot of resourceful ways of storing water. We had floods easily. They didn't, you know, things just were not like they are built now. So it was the Depression. They were very poor. Husband, wife, 2 daughters. One had some autistic traits, I want to say. She didn't do any speaking. She did a lot of rocking. She didn't speak at all. And she was the oldest of the 3. And then her sister in the middle, who was the one that was always in charge of her older sister and in charge of her baby brother. So they always put her in charge of everything. So they had a flood in 1939 and their house washed out, and her father, he worked for the lumber mill, and the lumber mill flooded out, and so they didn't have work for him, and they were as poor can be. So they literally were, and I won't give the whole story about how they got flooded out because that's a big part of the book. And then they were left with literally nothing. No money, no food, and no house, nothing. So it shows how they lived through all this and how hard it was. And just like the book I read before, The 4 Winds, it's just this author, Donna, she pulled me in just like Kristen Hanna does in her books, to where you felt what they were feeling and how they felt. You were feeling that. And she did a wonderful job of writing it because you completely could feel yourself being there or could see it clearly. And anyways, they had real tough times. And I don't want to give a lot of spoiler away because this is a book that there's so much tragedy throughout the book, but it's still a really good story, and it's all I thought about. It's all I thought about. Like, I wanted to go to bed early so I could read. I got home and I just wanted to finish dinner and get things cleaned up so I could read. I'm not a fast reader, and I work full time, so it's not like I can just sit down and read for 4 hours. I can't do that. Like, the most I can read is an hour at the most, and I've got other things to do. So it took me a week and a half to get this book read. But I'll tell you what, it was so good. And the ending, I don't know. I don't know if I was happy with the ending, but how else would I have wanted it to end? I don't know. So it's not that it was a bad ending. I was just like, okay. You know, like, I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting for the end, but it was still a super good book, and I would recommend it for anybody that likes to read about the Depression and real, like, family, hard time. Like, it was just a really good book. I really enjoyed it. But after that one and 4 Winds, it's like, okay, I need to read something that's not so heavy, not so dark and depressing. So I picked up this out of my to-be-read shelf, Danielle Steele's The Cast, and I started reading it at work, which I probably shouldn't do that because I was on my breaks, and I started my lunch break and my two 15-minute breaks. And I just, so far, I'm only on page 13, but it's just, I haven't got sucked into it at all. And usually Danielle Steele's can get me right off the bat. But I'm going to do some reading after this video with it quiet here in the house and see if I can pull myself into it, because sometimes if you're at work, you're not focusing a whole lot on the story as much. So I'm gonna give it a whirl. And I have so many other great books that I want to read, but I was like, I need a book that's just not so depressing and not so heavy, you know, and so dark. So we'll see how this one goes, and I'll let you know. A lot of you don't like Danielle Steele's books. A lot of you really do like her books. But I always have to have something to be reading, and so I'll give this a whirl. So, all right, you guys. This is a 5-star for me, 5 out of 5. If you're interested in these kind of books, you'll love this book. I know that Bobby at Bobby Joe made this by hand. She does a lot of reading. I had recommended The Life She Was Given, and she said she liked it, but it was really depressing. So, Bobby Joe, this is another one kind of like that. It's really good, but it is depressing. So, all right, you guys, well, have a great day, evening, whatever. Happy Thursday. It's going to be here before you know it. And the weather is really nice this week. It's only in the 70s all week. Last week we were in the high 80s, and I was trying really hard not to turn the air conditioner on, because I was like, it's just gonna be so expensive once I do. So, but it's been great weather now. So you guys all have a great rest of your week, and I shall talk to you later. Bye-bye.